Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Haley-Louise. Woo! Today is the first day of SFX Sunday and it actually being on a Sunday. If you haven't seen my previous SFX look that I actually put on Valentine's Day, I will leave it just at the top of the screen somewhere around here for you if you haven't seen it and you want to go and check it out and see what we created. Ooh! Today is gonna be like a little quick-ish kind of one. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to be trying to do small little kind of like quick SFX things or things that are a little bit more simpler to achieve, and then mix it in with those big ones, and obviously I cannot do that week in week out because that takes a lot of time to film, a lot of editing, and yeah, I'm just trying to get into the swing of things. Before we go any further, I am so like ill with a cold right now that I do apologise if I am sounding very bunged up, but yeah, anyway, so I did say earlier to my mum my sinuses hurt so much that I actually just want to punch myself in the face and break my nose, and then I was like, wait, I have an idea. So today, for this first of SFX Sunday, I am going to be breaking my nose. With makeup, of course. If you want to see how to get the broken nose look, then keep on watching. Okay, so first off, I'm going to run through all of these products that you are going to need for this kind of thing. This is something that is going to get asked for a lot if you're doing filming or just in general for SFX. Like, it's a pretty basic one to learn to look like you've broken or something. So I am going to concentrate on the bridge of my nose today. So to do that, I'm going to be using some Derma Wax. This is from Grimace, otherwise known as, I think it's, what is it? Skin wax, scar wax, things like that. There are many names that this goes by. I'm also going to be using a couple of types of blood. I'm going to be using a runny blood and then a little bit more of like a congealed blood, and yeah, I'm going to be diving in as well to the little sort of zombie pot of paints that I do have. There are so many of these around. These are just literally from the Halloween shop and from last time as well, my trusty little Halloween section items, and then a few crappy brushes, and yeah, that is about it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little metal spatula and I'm going to scrape out a little bit of the wax here, and I don't really know, to be honest, how much I'm going to need for my nose. You want to make it, I want to make it look like there's a real bad break and that we've broken through like the skin as well. So probably, I would say, probably going to use that much, maybe a little bit more, like a very large pea. Also, another good tip is for not to get stuck to your hands is either a little bit of Vaseline or, in this case, baby oil. I'm just going to pour a little bit of that onto my fingers, onto my hands, and rub it around so that we are not a sticky, gooey mess. Now, this stuff really does need to be warmed up, so once you have it in your hand, you're just going to literally roll it around into like a little ball, and make sure, obviously, as well, like squeeze it, manipulate it, make sure there are no lumps or chunks in there, because otherwise it's not going to sit smoothly on your face. Obviously, as well, I already have makeup on from today, just in general, and I couldn't be bothered to take it off, and I don't think it really matters, to be honest, with stuff like this. Obviously, if you are starting from scratch, you would make sure that your skin is like clean and clear and all of that loveliness. I think I may need a little bit more, but I am going to start off with this amount. We've got a little ball here, like this, like so. So I am going to squeeze it out. So I'm going to like flatten it down. I'm going to apply that straight to my nose. Doesn't have to be like completely perfect. And yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, that's near enough where I want the break to be. So now with either a spatula or your fingers, I'm going to smooth out all of the edges of this on either side and up and down so that it looks like it's coming out of my face a little bit. I'm also going to leave one side a little lumpier than the other because we want this to look like a broken nose, like it's gone a little sideways. I think that is about as smooth as the edges are going to get, and I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm just going to kind of like tap at this lump that we've got on our nose and see if I can kind of flatten it out a little bit, smooth it out a little bit. It's not quite so lumpy. Okay, so as you can see, as I'm looking like in the monitor, it does look like my nose is slightly curved around here. I'm actually going to add a little bit more to this side and make it really look like it's kind of snapped out to one side. So again, I need a little bit more lubrication on my hands. Same thing again, so like a little tiny amount, roll it around, make sure there's no lumps or bumps in it. Flatten it out between your fingers and on we go. So I want to make it here. Okay, let's wipe off the excess oil. Alrighty, so going back in with my spatula, I am now going to kind of make an incision in this. So I want it to seem like I've hit my nose really badly, and I'm going to kind of put a dent right through. Now obviously you can use whatever you like, whatever tool you'd like. I am just going to use this spatula and we are going to kind of break it right here. This is where I'm feeling it. And kind of as I'm going along, just manipulating that where I want it to. And you want to kind of hit your skin sort of underneath so that it gives the impression that there's some depth there. Now it's time to powder this area. I'm going to powder the whole area just using some loose powder. Some translucent powder, making sure that that is all set where I want it to, and to get rid of any excess shine. Okay, so we're all powdered. I'm now just going to use literally, this is a little bit of BB cream from Superdrug. You can use whatever you like, foundations, camouflages, whatever. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that in to further blend it into the skin. I don't want to do anything too heavy because obviously I'm going to be bruising this up quite a bit, because this kind of injury would be very, very bruised. But just to kind of give it that more skin-like texture rather than too see-through. So I'm going to tap this out and blend this in. And once that all's done, it's time to move on to the bruising. Now, when you break a nose, obviously this is connected to your eye sockets, and you usually end up getting very, very bruised and swollen just all throughout the middle of your eyes and your eyeballs and underneath. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to give myself some black eyes. So starting off, I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and a little bit of yellow. So starting off with yellow, I'm just going to outline the kind of curve of my face and where I want my bruising to kind of start, which would be along the inner corners, like the bridge of the nose, and then we want this quite down underneath, you know, where our eye bags are. If you lot haven't got eye bags yet, then you know where your bags are. And I'm just going to blend that in with my finger to kind of soften it, which is, you know, this is a bright, bright yellow. And if people look at bruises, then they're not just sort of kind of black and blue like everyone says. There are greens and oranges and yellows And also I've hit this side of my face a little more, so I'm gonna make it a little bit more pronounced on this side of my face, I think, bruising. So first layer of yellow, done. Next I'm gonna just take the same brush because it's still a yellowy tone, and I'm gonna go in with a little green. And I'm just gonna kind of pat this really lightly, but also just randomly, like in different sort of spots where I think, because bruising isn't all kind of like one level, it's kind of everywhere. You get bits that are like more mottled, you get bits that are a bit more like pronounced. So it's all these kind of like underneath colours that come through in bruising. I think it's one of those things that you just have to like play with it until you get to a place where like you're happy with it. And again, at every stage, like just blending it in. Now it may look a bit crazy at the minute, a bit multicoloured, and I am very, very aware of that. But believe me, we'll get this looking bruisey in just a sec. Next, I'm going to be taking a little bit of blue. And again, I'm being a tramp, I'm using the same brush. And again, just placing it randomly and patting. I'm also going to bring that a little bit in onto that one to create even more of an illusion of like a wave of damage. Okay, lovely. Now we're looking like the green monster. Now it's time to move into the more reds, the more purples, the greys. So I am going to take a little bit of grey and a little bit of a dark red, and I'm going to start tapping in my very dark bruise shape, which is going to be concentrated mostly around like the bag under the eye. And I'm going to just tap that until it kind of disperses into the skin and where I want it to go. You'll find that there's always areas of the eye that kind of get hit and bruise darker and more mottled than other areas. So we're starting to get somewhere. We're starting to look with this sort of like dark red mixed in on top of the greens and everything. We're getting like all of these different layers of bruising starting to appear. Okay, so my camera switched off then, and I don't know how long I was doing that for, but obviously, as you can see, we've got some major bruising going on. I just carried on using the dark red, and now I'm just going to add in a little bit of fresh red, just tapping in certain areas over the top, making it look a little bit more kind of like sore and tender. It always gets especially red, like with black eyes, in the kind of like the top of the cheek. So always remember to kind of look at your research and look at how bruising kind of happens. If you want it realistic, obviously if you want it cartoon-like, just get some blue eyeshadow and go ham. I'm trying to do like a realistic-esque kind of look, like I would do on if I was trying to do this for film. I think we're near enough there, guys, with the bruising, with the broken nose. I'm going to add a little bit more red up through here. And again, we're going back in and we're going to powder this. But first, with that red as well, with that dark red that we were using, I'm going to take a smaller brush and I'm just going to pat that into this little section that we have going on, and I'm going to try and create some depth and fill in this dent now. It's like that moment I'm like, oh my god, it actually looks like what it's supposed to. And of course, if you do want to make this a little bit darker, use black like in small quantities and just kind of at that end, maybe the darker end, just give it a little dab, maybe towards the middle, so we're making it that it's like, whoa, this is a little a little deep on my nose. And she's nearly ready for the prom. Okay, like I said, I'm now just going to go in and powder. So I don't disturb it too much. I am actually just going to take some powder on a cotton pad and just tap that over really, really lightly. It's amazing, isn't it, how different like something can start to look just by having like a bit of powder on. Like, it's crazy. I do want to keep the shine in some places, like in the corners, right in the corners of my eye here. I mean, like, I want to create kind of the illusion of swelling, so I'm not powdering too much in those areas. We're nearly done. I hit my nose. Okay, so I'm going to, this is just some like congealed blood, some thicker blood that I did actually make a while ago and needs using up. Did you want to see a tutorial on how to make fake blood at home? Let me know. So, I am just going to take some of this ooey gooey blood and put it ever so gently, ever so sweetly into my new nose crevice. As you do, just drop it in there, get on in. Ew. Ew. Ow! I'm also gonna just make maybe a few drips if I can't do it naturally. Work with me now. This is the part of SFX that is like dangerous because I have on a really nice jumpsuit and I don't want it to go on my jumpsuit or anywhere that I don't want it to go. And this is a little bit gooey now. Ugh. Now time for a little runny blood. This is from Grimace and basically I am going to pour this up my nose because you don't get damage like this. If I can ever get this blood open. You don't get damage like this and not have your nostrils bleeding. And then after I've done that, we're done. Can I get this off though? Yes. Advice, do not snort this. This is probably the grossest act ever. I really want to catch this moment on camera. So, bloody nose. Number one. Is this the most attractive I've ever looked? Probably, yeah. Oh! Don't eat it. And here we go. We've got some nostril action. Woo! First rule about Fight Club. We don't talk about Fight Club. Beautiful. And you should have something that looks a little like this. Turn down for what? 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 So I have fake blood all in my mouth now. And it's running quickly down my face, so I'm quickly gonna do this little outro. Thank you so much for watching if you have made it this far to the end. Remember that this is only makeup, so cool it, calm yourself. I'm just giving you an example of something that I would do on a film set. This is not the most delicious bloods of sorts, and yeah, it just gives you an idea of something that's kind of like a realistic injury. Yeah, so I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you let me know what you think of these types of videos, if you want more kind of like realistic looking SFX, kind of put in between the more fantasy looks. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if you learned something, if you like noses, and by all means, if you want to see more videos like this as well as all the rest of the things on my channel, don't forget you can press the subscribe button, which is located just below the video, and it's totally free. If you ring the bell as well, it just keeps you up to date when I upload. I will see you guys next week with another SFX Sunday. In the meantime, I have more videos on the way to you, and I do apologise to those that I did say about my microblading video. I just wanted to put that in there very quickly. It's taken a little bit longer to edit than what I thought, so that will be up in a few days, so keep an eye out on my channel for it. Thank you, and good night, good evening, good day, good morning, whatever time you're watching this. And yeah, I am gonna go and take this off and brush my teeth because they are very... This doesn't taste very nice. Okay, bye!